as the candidates, preferred candidate for the party come the 2018 election in the state. This trend of governors who, after some years, pick their successor, it's quite, I use the word trend because it's quite becoming a trend. We saw it happen in Edo State when Oshomole, single-handedly, okay, I want Obaseki. It happened, it almost happened in Ondo State, recall, and even in Ogun State, it's still an issue now. What do you make of this trend of governors after 8 years or thereabouts decide, I want this person, I'm anointing this person to be my successor? Do you think this is good for our democracy?
It's not good for our democracy if you view it from a certain kind of angle or perspective. But then if you view it from the angle of having their own right to choose, they're also part of the party, they're also part of the system. They equally have a right. We always look at them as governors, forgetting they have other rights. Any individual can also possess within that party. And also, Fayoshe saying that he wants to hear from God. It's not the first time I think there was time Obasanjo said that he was waiting for God to talk to him. I remember the letter Kadipo then asked him, who are you that God will speak to you? Are you now a prophet? Where are you now? Have you assumed the role of prophets? So, whenever people want to take time to go and reminisce over an issue and think, maybe come up with their own opinion or decision, they always attribute it to God. But what Fayoshe has done, for me, is his own choice. That's what he has actually decided from his own. But the problem we have is that some party faithfuls in the state are always scared of the governor. Governor is as an individual. That Fayoshe endorsed somebody does not mean that there will be no primary. There will be no primary election. It's not the Electoral Act. It's not the INEC. It's not the national party. It's not the national leadership of PDP. PDP national body can still come and conduct primary in Ekiti State. But what Fayoshe has done is that this is my preferred candidate. Although as a governor, they always muzzle the leadership of the party, muzzle the party machinery, muzzle the party everything to ensure the emergence of that particular person. But others may still contest. Others will still, primary election will still be conducted in Ekiti State. INEC will still come down to supervise the election. PDP national body will still come down to supervise the election. But where people are agree with, Fayoshe shouldn't have been neutral. He should have withdrawn and allow everything to be done from a neutral angle. So people, interested parties will come up and then prove their mettle, prove their popularity, prove their reach, and then campaign vigorously and present themselves to the masses. And at the end of the day, the masses will decide. But for governor to say, this is the person I want, having considered the enormous powers and influence, word and control by the governor, that definitely voting pattern will sway in that dimension. And they've always tried within everything at their disposal to ensure that that person they chose emerges as at the primaries by either whichever way. But then it hasn't been always the case. There was an issue that came up. I remember vividly in Ebonyi State recently. Professor Chukwu, the former Minister for Health that combated Ebola, was the choice of the governor, Governor Elechi of Ebonyi State. Yes. But Umahi came up from, Umahi wasn't the choice of the governor. And Umahi emerged. Elechi endorsed Professor Chukwu, and he didn't succeed. Okay. And even the current governor, Ganduje of Kano State, wasn't the choice candidate for Kwankwanzo. That's the problem they're having today. He wasn't his choice candidate, and he emerged. So other candidates, coming up to chicken out and making noise, we look at them as, they're not serious, they're not prepared. They're not prepared for election. If Fayoshe is a person, he has the right to say, this is who I want. If you have your capacity and your strength and your popularity in Ekiti State, within the delegates, within the members of the party, you throw yourself to the ring. So you feel
having a preferred candidate, the governor having a preferred candidate is not enough to intimidate
other aspirants to throw themselves to the ring and do their campaigns. The Fayoshe cannot say that others will not campaign. He can't say that there will be no primary in the Ekiti State. He can't say that PDP cannot come and conduct primary. He just said, this is the man I chose. This is the man after my heart. This is the man I want to succeed me. That doesn't foreclose the proper procedure of doing primary election in the Ekiti State. It's not.
All right, thank you for that, Barrister Chime. What do you make of this trend
Yes, if you look at our democratic process from the First Republic, the issue of godfatherism has always been there. You didn't just start with this Fourth Republic. When you look at the first political parties we had in the First Republic, comprising Zik, Awolowo, and Tafawa Balewa, that has NCNC, AG, and the Northern People's Congress. These people also played a part of godfatherism in their own right. The difference between their own part of godfatherism then and now is that they played an ideological godfatherism, unlike what is obtainable today. If you look at almost in all the states in Nigeria, I'll give you instances. For instance, in Kwara State, if you have followed the political development in Kwara State, you will see that Baba Saraki, that is Saraki's father, was a prominent man in the state. He actually financed candidates from 1979 up on one attack, from attack to Muhammad, from Muhammad to Lawal, from Lawal to his own son. And when his own son finished, he brought his daughter. And the son disagreed with him. And they parted ways. You look at Anambra State, you know about Ubas and Ngige, when city governor was abducted and all that. You look at Borno State, you see Alimodu Sharif, who sponsored a candidate in 1999, and in 2003 he contested and they parted ways, and other states in Nigeria. So it has always been there. So the question is not about godfatherism, it's about our democratic process. So I think the point now is that issue of anointed candidate, that is what Fayose has done. Of course, electoral laws made provision for how a person, of course, for now, we don't have an independent candidacy. You must come through a political party. And of course, you more have to buy nomination forms, primaries, and all that. But beyond that, you see that in most of these instances, whoever the governor anoints automatically becomes the governor. And of course, the point is clear, because when a sitting governor knows that he's leaving tomorrow, he always wants someone who will protect him, his back, because of certain things he has done. So he wouldn't want somebody to come and expose him to the vicissitude of the society. So it's like he's also trying to protect himself, just like every other state in Nigeria. And I think it's very dangerous. Because if we continue in this manner, if we continue in this process, we are indirectly institutionalizing corruption. Because you can't tell me that if someone sponsors, if I sponsor you to contest an election and you win, of course, I will always remain right before you, whatever thing I do. So it's a dangerous process, but it has always been there. We hope to prevent it.
All right, Barrister White, do you think this is done? He just, Barrister Chime just chipped in that it could be the governor wanting to cover his tracks. But yeah, could this also be done in the overall interest of the party and the state, and for continuity in the governor's project? Like, this project is very close to my heart. This person has been with me. He's my deputy. He knows my plans for the state. He can continue with these plans. Don't you think this is usually the case here?
It is not the case. Because you cannot buy legitimacy. If you are accepted, you are accepted. If you are wanted, you are wanted. No man can say this person that I want you to succeed me. It's only when the people give such person the legitimacy itself. Legitimacy, it is of two things: the popular one and the political legitimacy. The political one will come through the party. The popular one will come from the people themselves. Because now, if the governor says, I want this person to succeed me, and people believe that this person cannot do it, they will come out openly and say, we don't want this person, we want another person. It has happened in this country before, and it will still happen. And at times, if the governor says, this person I want, if the people believe in such person, they will put the person into power, and they will tell us it is continuity. Continuity in what? Is it in the party's agenda, or the new person's own is bringing out his own motive and what he wants to do? That's why we have problem in the government. When you put another candidate, when he takes power, he believes, I have to do this my own self. I don't want to be controlled. We will not start having problem. The party will give in the state or the country their own problem. The problem is to solve within themselves will now be a general problem. That is why such move is not good. The people can stop such moves. And Fayose is just a governor. He's a man out of many party members. He has only said his own opinion. We all can part away with such an opinion if truly we don't want that person. So it is still about the people. It's about our politicking. It's about our democratic process itself. It needs to be checked. If you have values and good beliefs and ideas, this kind of thing will not even happen at first. But because we don't have it, if the governor says, I want this person, everybody wants to be the governor's boy. You want to be the governor's loyalist. You don't want to do anything that will go against the governor when you know you are doing the right thing and not standing for the truth. So I think our value system, the political core itself, should be checked.